Hello and welcome to episode 39 of the MotoGP Career Mode. Today we have the Finnish Grand Prix, one of my least favourite tracks. I hate this track, absolute hatred. But anyway, we have some small bits to take care of before we get into it. We have a new manager, he's not any good. And our team development still is all under process. And we've 1 week left and 3 weeks left in the bike development, so that's all fine there. Now in the Aprilia, what I have done off camera is that we got our first traction control. This is one I've been waiting for a while. I feel like this is the biggest area we're losing, is electronics out of the corner. And what I've done is I've taken everyone who's finished it, put them on the research data production for electronics. I want to basically have a very good electronics package, and I want to see, will that fix my woes with Aprilia? Can that get me close to the front? I feel like that's where I lack. And yeah, I have loads of resource in engine, I lack in frame and aero, and electronics. I really feel I need to do that. So if I can get traction 2 done in the next few weeks, if I can get enough resources for it, I'll get that on the bike as fast as possible and see, will that be the difference between qualifying 18th and finishing 10th, to maybe I can qualify 10th and finish 3rd or something like that. We'll see, I don't know. But anyway, I feel like that's going to make a big step. Now I don't know if I'll notice anything this weekend in Finland, because I'm not great at this track in third person, so in first person I think I'm going to struggle. I think I'm going to be way off the pace, but we'll see. Anyway, enough chatter, let's get on track. Just forgot to mention, I did change the livery for this week, so this is probably what we'll run till the end of the season. Remove the red, blacked out, and a bit of green. So here we are at the end of practice, the combined results, and we're in P21, only 0.9 off, which is absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's another weekend where I felt maybe this weekend, because there's lots straights, you've heavy braking zones, you've a bit of everything, it might suit this bike and we might actually be able to fight. I actually thought I might get through to Q2 directly, but it wasn't that way. Again, it was just, the gap is the same each week. I cannot get the gap down. And there was a few people asking in the comments what difficulty I run this on. I run it on extreme, which is 120% AI. It's the max AI you can run. But yeah, it's slightly underwhelming coming to this round. I thought, as well, I had the, as I said in the intro, all the upgrades going onto the bike. I thought maybe we'd make a step. And at the end of this video, I will have a poll. I have basically made my mind up that I won't be staying with this team for next season. I have a poll in the comment or in the description to where you can pick which bike I will be on next year. Now it just says the bike, doesn't say team. I will be riding in one of the custom teams, so I can do my own livery and this, that and the other. So I have Yamaha, Ducati, Honda and Suzuki. No KTM, obviously no Aprilia. But anyway, as get back to the on-track action, coming into the last corner, we're 0.6 under nearly up to line. It's still not unfortunately going to be enough. We actually improve a lot from our practice times. We got P8, which is 18th on the grid, and look at the time at 24.5. Remember that time there now in a second, you'll see on the grid. So pole was a 24.6. I was faster than Quattro and pole. So now again, because they're simulating the session, I don't get through to them. Maybe that's why the times are off. If I got through to it, maybe they'd blitz me. But it is quite annoying when my Q1 time is faster than pole every week. But nonetheless, we have the new livery, black, green and white. It's quite nice, best one we've had so far. So it will be critical once again. I get a good launch around here, maybe get up into the front pack. I feel like I have more pace this weekend on my own. Whereas in Finland last week, I felt like I had to be in the group to be anywhere with riders, and same with Aston. But this weekend, I feel like my pace is as good on my own as with riders near me. But nonetheless, here we are on the grid. Fortunately, as usual, way too far back. 5 red lights, and we are off. We get a great launch as usual. Up through the gears. We're actually slightly off track. We're going very aggressive down the inside of about 7 riders up to P13 on the inside of Valentino. Small bit of contact between us and probably Miller, who's way far down, so expect him to come back through the pack. And once again, we're just going to stick to the outside and probably try and make up time and positions into turn 3 up to P10. We're behind Paul Espargaro, and that's Ene Bastianini, the rookie, on the outside. So it's been a very promising start now. Again, we'll see how we go. I've gone for a medium rear hard front. They suggested soft, but the bike just feels horrendous in the heavy braking zones on a soft. I needed the hard for a bit of stability into corners like this. Nonetheless, into P10 now. We just managed to slip past Inea Bastianini. Now what can we do up against the Repsol HRC bike in front of us? He goes very wide there. Are we going to cut it back on him? We need to just stay in the group. You can see there's a big train already. There's a small gap though from Mir to, I think it's Jorge Martin. So we don't want to close that gap. If we get into a train, you might get a Moto3 race going here. But we shall see. We're quite better on the brakes there than Paul. We gain a lot of time back on him. Now we come into the last corner for the first time. We're way wide there. We've got a poor exit. Going back to the upgrades on the bike, a lot of corners. Like you'll see, turn 1 I still get too much wheelie. Turn 3 we go to the outside though of Paul Espargaro. Are we going to get moved on? We do. He actually crashes on the inside and we track it in small, but we don't get any warnings. Up to P9, so into the top 10. So we're going well for now. Now we are hunting Mir down in P8, so far the pace isn't too bad, so maybe I was getting a little worked up about it in practice and qualifying for no reason. We seem to be able to push forward slightly in the race. We'll see if the race carries on in the same vein. We are gaining on Mir ever so slightly on the lap, but we gain a lot into these braking zones just there. You can see we take the very Jack Miller Scandinavian flick style into the corner. But yeah, we're right on the back runner, so maybe a move, and we got good exit there now. We didn't drop back as much, so there is slight improvements in certain areas, but it's just not enough. We're hard on the brakes, go to the inside. We're going to just leave the brakes off and run it up the inside, sit them up, force them slightly wide and square them off. That is P8, so we're doing well at the moment to the end here of lap 3. So we just need to hopefully tie on now to that if we can close the gap to Martin, because first Mir fights back. We're going to cut underneath him. Great bit of racecraft there, showing them the inside to cut underneath him. But as I was saying, if we could close in on Jorge Martin, we'd be in the battle for the podium really, because between 1st and 7th it's a bit of a train, and then back to me it's a 2.5 seconds. So we'll see, can we pull it in? We're wide there. This track is incredibly bumpy, and it is quite difficult on a fully built MotoGP bike. I found it quite easy here in the Moto3 class and the Moto2 class, but at the moment 24/7, and it's Mir and Miller through and Rossi through. So in the space of one corner, turn 7, we've lost 3 places. We've gone from 8th back to 11th position. So I did forecast that Miller would come through, and he has. He's managed to jump me and Mir. And Rossi seems to have decent pace here this weekend in Spielberg in 10th position. Now I'm going to try, and I reckon that Rossi and Miller maybe have better pace than Mir. I think that their pace was good, but I managed to get a much better start and they are held up. But again, you can see I am substantially better under the heavy braking zones. I just cannot really get the whole lap clean. You can see Rossi got a great exit there now up the first straight up to turn 3. Should make up a lot of time on the brake. Go to the inside. We're not going to send on Rossi. We have too much respect for the man. I wouldn't do it to him. We did it to Binder last week. We've done it to me already in this race. But I wouldn't do that to Rossi. He's earned his position. He looks like though he might be quicker than Mir. As you can see, he's pretty much doing what I did in his force mode. Can he get the Yamaha up the inside? The Petronas Yamaha, he looks like he's got much better drive, and he is up into P9. So great bit of riding from the Dr. Valentino. But Mir looks like he's going to go for the inside, but there's no room there. Rossi defending for his life. So great to see Rossi up into the top 10 here in Spielberg. Now what can we do with Mir? He seems to be coming back to us. Could we potentially get him into turn 1 maybe? Or again, could we do him into turn 3 or turn 4? I'm wide there again, just struggling. The more I ride this bike, the more I feel like there's other things wrong other than just the electronics. I feel like it's lacking everywhere now these days. I think maybe heavy braking zones, I'm making the difference because the bike doesn't feel that good in braking. Usually it's skitterish. I felt like, as I really thought that we could have a great race pace around here, I thought with the heavy braking zones that we would have a real strong chance of winning around here, but unfortunately, not winning even, just getting on the podium. But we cut here to turn 4, and again we're doing the same move on Mir, forcing him wide, picking up on the exit. Now we have Valentino in front of us. Can we do anything to pull the gap back to him? His pace seems quite good. Seems to be using Jack Miller as a bit of a toll just in front of him. I reckon Miller might be on a soft rear or something like that because his pace seems way too good. But weird he qualified so low at a track that is renowned for Ducati speed. But he seems to be pulling Rossi away from me, unfortunately. And Mir is gone backwards because there's no Brad Binder and Frankie Morbidelli behind me, so I don't know where the lead Suzuki has gone. Current world champion has dropped back. I didn't see if he crashed after I passed him or not, to be honest. But yeah, P10 it's our ceiling as we get that all wrong, running off track. Fortunately didn't get a track limit one, but we did leave Binder get much closer. He's going to be pretty strong into the braking zone. We brake quite late to see can we defend him off. You can see the bike is very nervy on the braking, and he goes for it. And Frankie Morbidelli clatters into the side of me, and Mir is there now, so Morbidelli completely outbroken that he was lucky not to take me out. But that has brought Mir right back, and we've lost the position to Binder, and he seems to already after pulling on me. Now we start lap 8 of 10 with Mir going around the outside. What a fabulous move that is if he can get it done, and he does. So making me look a bit slack on the braking there, as I was just saying that it's my strongest point. But yeah, the bike feels very jittery and unstable on the braking around this track for some reason. But unfortunately it is only going to be P12 I reckon today. Mir even is after catching me and passing me after that incident with Morbidelli. And a little downbeat. I really thought we could get probably our best result this season. I thought that we'd have podium pace at least. I thought maybe if we could qualify up there, so turn 1 is a heavy braking zone, turn 3 is a heavy braking zone, that I could be in the mix. But yeah, it's not turned out that way, unfortunately. So during this race I had made a decision in my head that this Aprilia is only going to get me so far. It's only going to get me the occasional top 10 with as much development as I can do to it. I've kind of developed it, and not obviously fully developed it, but I've developed it in areas where I feel that the bike needs it most. And now we have made progress. Again, it's the qualifying. I think again now each episode I'm saying is this, the status, the other thing. I don't have a definite answer. I thought when I got the traction control that I'd really be able to probably improve my qualifying, and in the race I wouldn't suffer as much. But when I improved that, I started to have more anti-wheelie. Now I've improved the anti-wheelie here, and I've gotten a new engine development, and I'm still P12. And I know now the last few rounds I didn't score points in Assen, or I scored a handful of points in Assen. I scored 1 point in Finland, and now I'm sitting in P12 just outside the top 10. So it's not like we're coming 19th every race, but as a 2-time world champion I want to be on the podium week in, week out, like I was in the junior classes. And you can see just how nervous the bike is. I make up a lot of time. You can just see I have to override it, and I'm really on the limit pretty much all the time with this bike. And it's probably the Brad Binder syndrome of where I ride the bike at my best all the time. I can ride my race nearly as fast as what I do in qualifying, sometimes even faster, and that just shows that how I usually have better position in the race than I do in qualifying, because I have so much better speed in qualifying than I can achieve, and in the race then I'm stuck usually behind slower bikes, and I can't make like last few rounds now I've had good starts. I've got into the top 10 and I've managed to hold my position, like in Mugello. I know now there's a good few rounds back, but I got a very good launch and I got up into the top kind of 5 or 6, and I was able to battle with factory Yamahas and stuff. So it's gone to the point where at first I was lacking, would I be able to do riding first person on a GP bike, would it be too quick for me, but I think I've gotten that down. Now it's just the fact that I can't ride this Aprilia, No, we're still for a second because we are trying to overtake Mir on the last lap. We seemingly have the move done, but there's contact and he's managed to get a better drive. So it's like Lorenzo and Marquez 2018 when they collided coming out of that corner, and that has given Mir a big gap. We're in very hot as well. That surely has done it. Last sector, the Suzuki is far stronger, so I don't reckon I'm going to be passing. But like for example, 24.1 is Fabio Quartararo's fast lap. 24.6 is what I've done, which is what I qualified at. So I'm matching my qualifying times in the race. So yeah, it's difficult for me at the moment, really. I think the Aprilia is not going to be good enough to get me a world title, I don't think. Not without spending another 2 years developing it, which I don't want to do. I want to win now. I want to win multiple championships because I'd like to win on different constructors. But we come across line P12, slightly downbeat again, as I was given a couple of races ago at the start of the season when I was finishing nowhere. I would have loved to be able to fight for P12 and be in the points and be only half a second off a Quartararo in the race. But like we're nearly 13 seconds down. The gap has grown immensely in the races to the leader. We're probably still P10, P11. Yeah, we have dropped behind the late Espargaro who beat us in that race, unfortunately. Now again, still ahead of Marquez, and we're still 8th in the team championship, so that's really irrelevant because there's only one of us and 2 riders in every other team. But Aprilia stays 4th in the constructors, and both our riders score points in Moto 3, so that's good again. But once again, just double check the link in the description for the poll. Please vote and just let me know who you'd like me to ride for next season. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today's video. Again, slightly disappointing. Next up is Silverstone, a very fast track, so maybe I mightn't suffer as much with the lack of corner exit speed and the slow corners, but we'll see. I'll try my best. So thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I shall see you in the next few days with another episode. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.